everyone, my name is RaeAnne with Self Fashioner, and today I'm going to be walking you step by step through one of my favorite fit healthy recipes, turkey meatballs. This is super easy, it's great for on the go, and anyone can make it. So first, you need lean turkey. This is 93.7. You can also use 99.1, and what that means is the fat percentage, so 7% fat or 1% fat. I also have egg whites to bind everything together. I like to add a little bit of mustard for flavor. This is jalapeno mustard. Depending on if you like things savory, a little bit sweeter, you can add sweet and spicy mustard, you can add Dijon. You don't even have to add mustard. It's just something that I like to do. I like to add garlic salt. I'm also going to add a little bit of chili powder. My secret ingredient that I love adding to most of my recipes is cumin, and I feel like it just gives it an extra little bit of zing that not all of the other ingredients add to food. And last but not least, we're going to do some black ground pepper. So I have a mixing bowl. I have the ground turkey in here. And first I'm going to add just a couple squirts of mustard. And like I said, this is really up to you to season this how you want. You can season to taste. I don't really measure things out. I'm gonna add some garlic salt. Usually a couple of shakes should be good. I'm gonna add a lot of chili powder because I love the flavor and I like these to be a little more savory. So I'm gonna add a lot. Next, I'm going to add the ground pepper. All right. And then I'm also going to add a lot of cumin. Like I said, it adds kind of a different flavor to this, and it really complements everything else that goes along with this. All right. And then to bind everything, I'm going to add egg whites, and I'm just gonna add these to texture. So let's add a little splash. You can also add eggs if you would like. I use egg whites because there's no fat in them, so it just keeps things a little leaner. All right, so we're gonna stir everything. Make sure it's nice and mixed up. And that way we can tell, judging by color and texture, what else we should add to this. All right, so that's pretty stirred up. It looks pretty good. I think I might add a little bit more of the ground pepper. And I'm going to add a little bit more garlic salt. And these are just my suggested spices. Feel free to add whatever you want into this. You could even add things like chopped up zucchini, you could add vegetables. Feel free to make these however you want. This is just my basic list of ingredients. All right. And the reason I use garlic salt, I do love sea salt, but I feel like garlic salt gives it just a little more flavor. And so that's mainly why I chose to include that in this recipe. All right. So we're gonna keep mixing and just make sure it's a texture that can be rolled into meatballs. And this looks good. So as you can see, the consistency is pretty good. We should be able to roll these into meatballs pretty easy. So now that we have everything mixed up for the turkey meatballs, we're going to get our nonstick muffin tin. And I know this is shaped like a square. You can use a round muffin tin, whatever you prefer. You can even use a baking sheet. I like to use these because it keeps the meatballs separated and it just makes life easier. And that's what we're about, making this as easy as possible. So I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm just gonna take a good amount. Let's see if you can see this. about this much, and I'm just gonna use one hand to kind of roll these into a ball. Use the spoon to help round those out. And then as easy as that, I'm just gonna set these in the tin one by one. And honestly, you can make these as big or as small as you want to. I like to use about an inch or an inch and a half, just so I can eat them by themselves or add them to meals. So that's a good size. If you have children or anyone that wants to help, this is a super fun activity because it's not that messy. They can help you roll out the meatballs, and it gets everyone involved in the fit and healthy lifestyle. And for these, I used 1 package of ground turkey, like I mentioned before, and that should make anywhere from 9 to 12 meatballs, depending on the size that you choose. So it looks like we made about 11 here. Like I said, personal preference. You can make these whatever size you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's what's great about this recipe. It's simple, it's easy, it's efficient, and everyone will enjoy. So as you can see, we have our meatballs in the tin and ready to go. The oven is at 375, and generally speaking, you're gonna wanna bake these anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes. It really just depends on how hot your oven is. It's poultry, so you're gonna wanna keep an eye on that and, cut into the center before you take them out and just make sure everything is cooked thoroughly. All right, so we took these out of the oven. These went in on 375 and cooked for about 20 minutes. Like I said, depending on how hot your oven is, they can go anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. So you definitely want to keep an eye on these. They are going to be absolutely delicious. I'm just going to pop these out into a Tupperware container that's small, fits in the fridge, and allows me to take these on the go. And if you don't have Tupperware, you can always use a plastic bag, storage bag. I have little Ziplocs here. That also allows you to take them places and not have to worry about lugging around a Tupperware container. You can just throw that away after you're done eating them. And these are the perfect snack to eat by themselves. Or if you want to add these to pasta, you can add them to other dishes, and they are amazing. Voila!